Wildcat hockey. There's an atmosphere to this game. The icy chill that hovers in the air. The rumble of dedicated fans against the glass. The sound of metal carving its path. Someone once said hockey was figure skating in a war zone. They weren't exactly wrong. There's an athletic tradition at the University of Arizona, one that isn't deterred by cacti or blistering heat. A tradition of hard work, perseverance, and preparation. A tradition of camaraderie and of school spirit. It grants us hope when times are hard and makes us strong so we can rise to our feet again. This tradition, it lives inside these players, and it lives inside their fans. So join us. We're ready to bear down. And something tells us you are too.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans, to another edition of the Bear Down Breakdown, coming off of a weekend split against the Utah Utes. Big comeback game on that Saturday afternoon, able to get those very important points moving into the national tournament. What did you like out of the response out of this group coming off of that loss on Friday?
Well, I thought we showed some fight back, like coming off of a tough loss Friday where we felt like we built on some things that we didn't do as well the weekend before. Especially just having an active bench. We kind of stripped everything down and said, let's start over a bit here. And so some of those details were really good, and you'd like to get rewarded Friday, but ultimately we didn't do enough and turned too many pucks over. So we managed the puck better Saturday. I thought the back checks were cleaner. I thought forward checks were more persistent. Certainly areas we can continue to grow, but this is we're at a point where we're trying to just progress and every week get better and better, so hopefully we're peaking by March.
How was it being back behind the bench? You know, you were at the World University Games for that international tournament along with Rue and Hughes. How good did it feel to be back in the building behind the bench?
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, it felt like being back home, right? So I was anxious to get back with the guys. We had some challenges while we were gone, so I was anxious to get back to work and dive in the trenches and find ways to create solutions, and I think we're doing that. And so, all our thoughts now are on UCO in a very difficult matchup coming into our building.
Those international tournaments, such a unique experience for those players. What do you think that, players like Rue and Hughes get out of playing on those stages against that level of competition?
Well, at first I thought they played really well. I thought they represented this university at the highest level, so I was really proud of the way they battled, the way they performed. They never looked like they were out of place or intimidated by the talent. It was an extremely talented tournament. It was the best hockey I've ever been around. But the way they competed, battled, fought, got to know new guys from the other programs. I think, the three of us kind of did some chatting and there's things we want to bring back to this program and to our culture and to add on to it. And so, those are things you have to kind of live through and experience. You can't really just watch from a distance to understand where it's needed. And so, hopefully between the three of us, we can bring some welcomed addition and help to improve the program any way we can.
Two new additions who did play big factors in those Utah games, playing a lot of minutes, in Stefan and Maloney. What did you see out of them that you liked, and what do you think that they can bring moving forward as they get more accustomed to the systems and to the program?
Yeah, I think, they both bring a lot of things that we need. Obviously, we needed some help on D. Maloney's a kid who's got a lot of experience, good, steady puck mover for a big kid who skates well. We want to get him back to just simple, making the first pass be the right pass and move pucks quickly. And when he does, he's very, very effective, and it'll make our forward group better. Stefan, a kid who's a shooter, plays a heavy physical game. We're looking for him to add some offense to us, add another weapon up front. I think part of what we saw early was maybe still a lot of thinking. He's trying to adjust to the structure changes and stuff, face-off plays, and the many things that we can throw at guys. And I think as he's thinking less and playing more, we'll see more instincts and allow his talent to take over. So the more time we could spend together in practice, I was definitely anxious to get back and work with both those guys in practice. It's a weird scenario to be in Italy and watching two guys that I've never really worked with on the roster and on the ice. And so I was anxious to get back and work with them. And I think ultimately they're going to be an important part of our success here.
So taking down Utah, top 10 team, splitting that series, looking towards UCO, what are you looking, in terms of their play style, how to counter what they bring, and, two very important games before the final home weekend against ASU?
Well, I have the utmost respect for UCO. They've had a difficult year this year, but make no mistake about it. There's 10 guys in that team that are on the Frozen Four team last year. There's a ton of experience. It's a good hockey culture. It's a lot of good Canadian KIHL players who play the game hard. They're competitive. They don't like to lose. So we're prepared for a hard-fought weekend here against a really tough matchup. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that they're much better than their record, and given some of the things they've had to deal with this year has added some difficulty to that, but they've added some players at break. They look a bit recharged. Certainly a team that we're going to have to be ready to go as soon as the puck drops.
And one player that I really noticed on those Friday, Saturday games was Hayden Gould in net once again. How much stability has he brought in the net over the course of this season? And how excited are you to have, that type of player moving forward?
Yeah, Gould's a beauty. He's a great kid. They say a man's best friend's a dog. Well, a coach's best friend's a goalie. I tell you that for sure. And so he gives the whole team confidence. Like, we're not going to be perfect, and we know when we slip up, make a mistake here and there, to have the confidence in a kid like Gould that will step up and make a play. It's huge for us. He calms the bench. He adds a little bit of leadership. He's a guy who's always ready to go. He loves the game. He's committed to his craft. I think the sky is the limit for him, and certainly something we're looking forward to watching his career unfold here at the UA.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks.
Test.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans, to another edition of Arizona Hockey here at the Tucson Arena. Sebastian Janik joined my longtime friend of the broadcast, former announcer Garrett Kane. Good to have you back up in the booth, Garrett.
Yeah, good to see you again.
So the Wildcats coming off of a 5-2 win against UCO yesterday. Wildcats were able to pick up 5 goals, 3 of those coming from Wyatt Stefan, picking up his first hat trick in the ACHA, his first career ACHA hat trick. So Wyatt Stefan, the winner addition, has been huge for the Wildcats, skating on a top line with Rue and Shetland yesterday. Those 3 guys actually combined for all 5 goals, 3 coming from Wyatt Stefan, 1 from Riley Rue, and another one from Tyler Shetland. So certainly a great addition for the Wildcats. Maloney on the back end, Billy Maloney, another addition over the winter break, who's really brought a stabilizing presence to the 6D core with a couple injuries, guys being out at the moment. So some big additions. Point leaders coming into this game for the Wildcats. Hughes still up there in number 1, Walker and Curley. But Riley Rue, who has also been fantastic this season, I believe he's up to 18 points in 17 games now. But UCO, even though skating with a diminished roster yesterday, were able to stick with the Wildcats throughout most of the 60 minutes. Garrett, you've played defensive minutes for most of your career in hockey. When you're skating with only 3 defensemen, relying on some forwards to pick up the defensive slack, how difficult is it logging that many minutes when you're trying to skate with half of your D-core?
Yeah, it's definitely very different. You have to play a lot different playing style. You have to be a lot more just calm and collected. Make sure that you get different, faster line changes so you can just keep running through those 3D, keep rotating, making sure that you have fresh legs, making sure you're not pulling the slack in the back end.
And UCO did a good job of that yesterday. Obviously, the Wildcats able to come away with that 5-2 win, but throughout most of that game, I mean, that fifth goal came on a 5-on-3 with less than a minute left in the third period. So closer to a 4-2 game than a 5-2. But the Wildcats still have a lot left to give after the game yesterday. Head coach Chad Berman, when asked by the media team about what he liked out of this group, he didn't really have much positive to say. He said the answers are going to be in this locker room. It's going to come down to how bad the U of A wants it coming into this game on a Saturday afternoon. And Wildcats definitely going to have to play a little bit more up to their opponent. Feel like they maybe took UCO a little bit lightly yesterday. UCO came out, scored the opening goal. So a little bit behind on the timesheet here as we're waiting for the Wildcats to head out onto the ice. So some players to look out for on UCO. Definitely the most notable three from yesterday. Number 6, Dubecki on the back end. It seemed like he played almost the entirety of that game. Captain for UCO, a very proud player. And then also number 12, Sam Sykes. He picked up the opening goal for UCO. He was dangerous, along with number 22 in Cullen Hogan. And it was really Dubecki, Hogan, and Sykes on the power play that made UCO so dangerous, as the Wildcats gave up a number of penalties yesterday. So it will be number 31, Camden Pendleton, leading out UCO for this game after Lantican went yesterday. Wildcats going back with Hayden Gould in net once again. So same roster here for both teams. One line change that's different for the Wildcats. Going to have Tristan Swiger moving up to the third line, with Eddie Slack bumping down to that fourth line position. So Slack will be playing with Hanrahan and Josephson on that fourth line. And then Erickson, Rossi, and Swiger. Swiger still with only 5 points on the season. No goals yet, but after what we were able to see Swiger do offensively last season, he's got more to give. Really feels like the story of a lot of this Wildcat team. Players with some huge amounts of potential, but either injury trouble or just sometimes you're just held off that score sheet, Garrett, and it feels like no puck bounces your way throughout the course of an entire season.
Yeah, that's definitely the case for defensemen. Being on the back end my whole career for ice hockey, you just get a lot of points on net, but you don't score many goals.
Alrighty, so we'll get the starting lineup here for your Wildcats.
For your Arizona Wildcats. At left wing from Gilbert, Arizona, number 5, Brian Erickson. At right wing from Tigard, Oregon, number 24, Tristan Swiger. At center from Santa Rosa, California, number 23, Ari Rossi. At left defense from Plainfield, New Jersey, number 4, Billy Maloney. And at right defense from Phoenix, Arizona, number 22, John Baird. And in goal for the Arizona Wildcats from Columbus, Ohio, number 30, Hayden Gould. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you if you would please rise if you are able and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
As we get set to drop the puck here on a Saturday afternoon matinee game here at the Tucson Arena. Like I said, very happy to be joined once again by Garrett Kane up in the booth. Sure, the fans are happy they don't have to listen to only me ramble for a full 60 minutes. Garrett, you weren't here yesterday, but like I said, the Wildcats, what can they do to take advantage of those, possibly tired defensemen after they had to log a lot of minutes yesterday against the Wildcats for UCO?
Yeah, you definitely want to make them cross ice on the skating side. So in the neutral zone, you want to make a move. You want to move the positions around, getting the puck down low, making sure that you're maintaining pressure, having them just be dangerous on the ice and make sure that they have to have a man on you all the time.
So the Wildcats looking to start off this game with a little bit of pace coming from the bottom six. Chad Berman deciding to go with Rossi, Erickson, and Swiger, with Maloney and Baird on the back end as we get the puck dropped here. And the Wildcats going to look to this line to establish some forechecking pressure. Chance now for Baird up at the point. Takes a quick shot with a lot of traffic out in front. And Swiger just not able to get a stick on it. But Erickson, Swiger, two very tenacious players. But here comes Sam Sykes, number 12 for UCO. He puts the pressure on Baird. Rossi in good support with layers, but Sam Sykes definitely not looking like he has any tired legs, with a quick burst of speed to start off this game. And Guerra, number 91, another one of the top players for UCO. So a little bit of lineup matchup here with Chad Berman going with his third line against the top line for UCO to start the game. But I like that, get a little bit of your forechecking grindy guys to take away some of the skill and then roll your own top line out there. Try to get those matching pair-ups that you can get on home ice.
Yeah, and UCO definitely came out of the gates flying. They're not scared to keep pressure, making sure they're physical with the Wildcats to make sure they're not letting up at all.
So Wyatt Stefan, after yesterday's hat-trick game, up to 11 points in 7 games for Wyatt Stefan. So he's been huge. We'll see what he can do this afternoon. But now it's going to be Hogan for UCO. He takes a hit from Rue. Gould in behind to play it. Gets some pressure there.
And great job by the Wildcats to break up that break-in from UCO.
So UCO definitely looked the most dangerous on the power play, but now Wyatt Stefan, he brings it over, tries to dance around his man in Mondi, but a good active stick takes away any time and space. But now Shetland down below the goal line. He's pressured there by Redman. Stefan comes in support, but immediately pressed off the puck there. A good read by Hogan as he takes a crunch from Rue in the corner.
And the Wildcats defense are definitely pinching down low on the boards to keep the puck in, making sure that UCO can't get that breakout.
So now Stefan, he deep gets it down low. Walker with a touch to it. Walker had a great game yesterday. Number of beautiful assists as he looks to go to work. Chance out in front. Walker gets 3 opportunities at it, but a good job by Pendleton to hold the post with the pad. But Dylan Walker goes from below the goal line, brings the backhand out front. Gets a couple good opportunities here to start the first with 18:08 remaining.
Yeah, beautiful pad work by Pendleton on that play, moving across that slot there.
So now Hughes in to take the face-off. Walker gets the pass but can't get the shot through. Hole, he's under pressure there from Redman as Redman gets in there first. Quick turn up, looks to go back to the point. The Wildcats seal off the boards well and able to get it back over their own blue line quickly. So now Hughes feeds it over to Hole. Hole with a quick shot, possibly looking for Curley backdoor on the rebound. But a good active shot there from Hole as Curley kind of throws a moving pick to break up some of this momentum for UCO as Flynn with a nice little move along the boards to get the puck out of danger.
And it looks like both teams are kind of trying to get their grasp on this game. A lot of dump and chase.
Yeah, the Wildcats, they've definitely got the fresher legs. UCO, before taking on U of A yesterday, played ASU the day before, but now Hanrahan drops it to Josephson. That one right into the shin pads of Rabrocker. And now Sykes with speed over the blue line, deals it off to Guerra. Back to Sykes out in front, and Gould with a huge save. That one goes off the side of the net. A couple UCO players collided down below the goal line. So the Wildcats possibly with an odd man opportunity up ice here. Josephson into the slot, takes a shot. That one was going wide. Pendleton just got a little bit of the blocker on it. But Guerra and Sykes creating a very dangerous opportunity off the rush there.
It looks like Wildcats did successful on breaking that play up, getting a fresh line change.
So Hodgson throws a quick puck in. Pendleton, even though that one was going wide as well, decides to get the glove and settle things down.
Yeah, and Sam Sykes just an amazing job of breaking up that 3-on-2 and pushing through the Wildcats defenseman to get a shot on goal.
So Guerra and Sykes go back and forth on the give and go, get a good opportunity out in front. Gould, once again, quietly having himself a very good start to the game. You might look at the 5-2 scoreline yesterday and think the Wildcats were dominant, but Gould kept at least 4 or 5 incredibly high danger chances out. So he has been such a steady rock in net for the Wildcats this season, even though not everything has gone to plan. But Gould has been a tremendous addition to this program, and Wildcats are very, very happy to have that stability and reliability back in net after so long of players like Anthony Churro and Nolan Bavolsic. So now the Wildcats, Rossi, good job to crunch his man, keep the pressure on. Erickson with a quick turnaround shot. That one's right into the chest of Pendleton. So this line not turning down any opportunity to shoot either.
Yeah, a lot of shots on net on that one. Stoner with a dangerous shot from the point. Erickson just almost getting a little bit too high above the pads so it doesn't hit a rebound, but great shooting opportunities.
Bit of feedback from Tanner Harris after the game yesterday. He thought the Wildcats were just trying to be too cute with it, trying to make that extra pass, that always looking for that beautiful wide open net goal. There's got to be a little bit more focus on just shots on pads and getting rebounds. And
yeah, and it definitely gets in your head when you're only playing against 13 players.
yeah, Wildcats have had a little bit of a problem over the years, sometimes taking opponents lightly, playing down to certain opponents versus, when teams like UNLV or ASU come into this building. But the Wildcats done a good job here in the first 4 or so minutes of the first, keeping the pressure on, not allowing UCO too many rush opportunities. But as we saw from the top line of UCO to start this period, all it takes is one good rush and they can do some damage.
Yeah, and UCO's looking very effective on the boards, winning those one-on-one battles. And that one was a 2-on-1 there, but
the Wildcats also with a lot of offensive firepower of their own. That top line of Shetland, Rue, and Stefan. And then they come right back with Walker, Hughes, and Curley. So very solid 2 lines to be able to roll back-to-back here with a lot of offensively dangerous players. As now it's going to be Redmond holding it along the U of A bench boards. Allows UCO to get it in deep, and they'll try to chase it on the forecheck. But once again, some good communication between the Wildcat defenders, and they get it quickly out. UCO tried to play that puck, so no icing. Curley, he gets a turnover opportunity. Walker with a chance out in front. Didn't get a whole lot on that.
and the Wildcats are definitely capitalizing on UCO's mistakes.
Now
Just like
Hughes
that
over the line, looks to go back door. That one somehow stayed out of the net with Curley crash into the back, so Pendleton with a huge save of his own. So the Wildcats were able to enter the zone right away once again. Gould, he decides to backhand that one out of danger, and the Wildcats will transition right back into attack with a 3-on-2 now. Walker tries to go back to Hughes, but good active sticks in the lane. UCO read that one the whole way. Now Gabe Stoner cashes it, skate to stick. Tries to get a shot away with Hodgson, but not able to get through the traffic. As UCO, a little bit of that fatigue starting to show. They don't quite have the speed that they did yesterday, and the Wildcats have been able to get some good re-zone entries right away. Doucette feeds it across to the far board. Sykes driving to the net. UCO happy to try to establish some pressure, but once again, good outlets from the U of A D-men finding that open space. Josephson just not able to skate onto that one as Struley wraps it around the boards. It'll be Cooper Flynn back to pick it up for the Wildcats. As definitely the defenseman right now for the Wildcats head up looking for that zone entry pass just right away, red line, blue line in.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to maintain the pressure in the offensive zone, keeping UCO on their toes, making sure they're still moving around the ice to tire them out.
You know, it's like when in the NHL or AHL when you catch a team on a back-to-back or after a long road trip, you've got the home ice advantage, you got the fresher legs, and You really try to punish that with just constant, consistent pressure, and it might be a little bit more volume over quality for the Wildcats here this afternoon as Slack gets it back to the point. Now Flynn with a quick shot. That one hit Pendleton, but he didn't find the rebound until the last second with Hanrahan jamming down into the blue paint, but Pendleton sprawls out and holds on to that one.
Yeah, great recognition by Hanrahan, seeing that loose puck for a shot, another shot opportunity.
So Will Josephson out there with Hanrahan and Slack. On the back end, Baird playing with Maloney, and that's a big pair on the back end. I mean, Baird coming in at 6'5", Maloney's not too far behind him, about 6'4". You see them lining up as a pair. It's two big bodies and long sticks to try to get through for UCO, and they've been a good pairing ever since Maloney's addition. Describes himself as a puck-moving defenseman first, finds a nice outlet pass there. Now a chance for Erickson with a quick shot. That one's into the chest protector at Pendleton, but Maloney finds Erickson with a little bit of time and space. He gets the legs turning and creates some separation to get another scoring opportunity. So Wildcats are out shooting UCO 10-1 so far in this first period.
Yeah, and UCO is definitely a very adaptive team. They're still maintaining possession quite a bit in this game and being in the right place at the right time, trying to use as little energy as possible because they have a really short bench.
Yeah, they don't have a choice right now but to try to limit that energy and try to be an opportunistic team, but Stoner able to dish this one in deep after the face-off win. Erickson tries to go back down the boards, gets it right back, takes a quick shot away. That one hit the blocker of Pendleton. Switch out there, Swiger and Rossi. Now a chance for Erickson. Stoner with a chance and a great save laterally to push by Pendleton. Stoner just had to settle that one down a little bit. Not exactly the highest scoring defenseman, but had a good opportunity there. And Pendleton with a great save going left to right, taking away the bottom of the net.
Yeah, the Wildcats are struggling a little bit in front of the net, blocking Pendleton from his sight for the puck. So
I definitely want to try to get someone posted up there in the blue paint, take away the eyes, but Wildcats looking like they're on the power play here. Now Hull with a quick shot, bodies out in front, so Swiger posted up right in front of Pendleton. No one can find the puck. Some sloppy ACHA hockey right there, but a good job by Homan to take away the backdoor feed as the Wildcats having their way with UCO at the moment, but still nothing past Pendleton so far as Hull pinches down, dishes it over to Rossi. Rossi with a chance out in front, trying to get it to Erickson, but just couldn't fully connect. Swiger takes his man down to the ice. Good hard hit along the boards by Swiger. Flynn just shoulders his man down to the ice. So Cooper Flynn, another big guy showing his presence. Chance now for Rossi. Erickson gets the rebound off the pads. And that's the type of shot with purpose as Cooper Flynn throws another big hit. Some retaliation there from a frustrated UCO player. But Tyler Shetland giving him no room to breathe over the blue line. Shetland draws the penalty. So the consistent pressure of the Wildcats, and Shetland with a nice little inside-out move draws what I believe is going to be a slashing penalty here against UCO.
And the Wildcats definitely looked fired up during that play. That's the Wildcats that we're used to seeing on the ice all the time.
So Rab Rocker heading to the box for UCO. The Wildcats will get a first period power play opportunity here with 11:48 left to go. Wildcats certainly out shooting UCO by a margin of 13-1 at the moment. But Pendleton's been solid for UCO after Lantican got the start yesterday. Now Maloney gets it over to Walker, and this power play unit will go to work. Walker back to Maloney, back to Walker. I'd like to see them try to go a little bit more cross-ice. Chance there with a good rebound. Walker was looking past the whole way and then throws a shot on net. Chance for Rue out in front. That one trying to find Hughes. Too many sticks in the lane. Now Maloney, nice little back pass there as the Wildcats start to open up the UCO penalty kill. Stefan with a beautiful place shot, but able to seal off the 5-hole there was Pendleton.
Yeah, great recognition by the top end for the Wildcats, working that umbrella, getting those shot opportunities, finding that open ice.
So Dylan Walker now with Maloney able to catch that in his skates, rims it all the way around. Rue gets there first. Hughes a little bit in that bumper position, feeds it back to Walker. Now Maloney, or that's actually Stefan over on the other side there. Now Maloney with a quick shot. Good selfless block there by Doucette to get in the lane. So you can just see the energy is not quite there for UCO. That was there yesterday, but Gould always looks so calm and composed when under pressure from a skater. But Pendleton not able to hold on to that one cleanly, but then Shetland can't get the shot away.
Just had the right or the left-hander there instead of the right-hander.
So now Shetland with trying to look for the pass to Rossi, kind of fake shot, went to the pass. Now Shetland with it, finds Hannerhan in the center slot. And it was Rossi with another chance off the side of the net, but Pendleton diving back across takes away the angle. So now Shetland feeds it over to Rossi. Backhand out in front, and that one just got tipped wide as the Wildcats continue to just grind down this UCO penalty kill. But Rabrocker, he'll out of the box now, back to 5-on-5. The Wildcats with at least 3 great opportunities on that power play. 5-man battle along the boards. Mondi, good second effort to get it out. Redmond not able to catch the pass behind him, but a good job there. I thought Sykes might have picked that up, actually misses the puck and then toe picks, so a little bit brutal there for Sykes. Redmond would have been in all alone, but just barely offsides.
Yeah, that was definitely a line change mishap there on the Wildcats, almost letting that odd man rush go.
So the Wildcats currently up to 21 shots on net. At this pace, Garrett, you're looking at 120 shots over the course of 60 minutes, which I got a feeling is not going to be a pace the Wildcats are going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, Pendleton just really standing on his head for all of these shots that Wildcats are taking.
Yesterday, UCO had about, I think by the end of the game, they were at 42 shots on net. Wildcats were about 43. But the Wildcats with a much more suffocating first period here is UCO, aside from, that offside rush there and then that one rush by Sykes, they've been pretty much hemmed in their zone the entirety of the first half of this period. 2 minutes on the power play goes a long way for that, but
and Erickson seeing a lot of play time here in the first period, just letting shots go, shot after shot.
Brian Erickson, one of the better stories in this Wildcat roster, came in last season, was not expected to really play a huge role, got some time in the lineup because of injury and just never left. Erickson, just such a hard worker on the penalty kill, has a good shot, good speed, and it's been Josephson and Erickson who have been that penalty killing duo all season. A bright spot for the Wildcats. And what has otherwise been a little bit disappointing, you look at where the Wildcats are in the rankings, certainly could always be better unless you're in first, but Wildcats now fighting a little bit for their chance at the national tournament. Couple wins here against UCO would go a long way. Then on the road against San Diego State before finishing up the season here on February 20th and 21st against ASU. But UCO with a quick shot there as Thompson throws one on net.
And Gould saw that all the way. Great recognition for a glove save on that one.
Aside from that rush chance that Gould had to fight off from really close in, that's only the second shot he's seen in almost 11 minutes. And for a lot of goalies, I might think that would be a problem, but Gould he very much fits that, you want to consider a goalie with a unique personality. Gould's about as unique as we've had in net for a little while for the Wildcats, and you get a chance to talk to him at practice. But
yeah, and UCO is just deadly on the blue lines right now with their defensive pairs, really holding the line off just like that.
So UCO trying to establish a little bit of offensive pressure. They get the turnover behind the net. Chance out from the slot. Another chance, and diving across was Gould. So UCO goes from 11 and a half minutes to absolutely nothing to 2 very dangerous chances from only about 3 feet outside the blue paint as Hodgson turned that puck over behind the net, and UCO with 2 players down in deep.
And the Wildcats starting to look a little too comfortable inside their zone. They got to make sure that they're still playing their positions and having that man-on-man hockey in front of the net.
Now, when you're out shooting a team 22-4, you can't get lazy on any of your details, because UCO with, third game of a 3-game trip, a bit of a tough season for UCO as well. Things haven't gone to plan for them. You're skating with a diminished roster. You're looking to be opportunistic. That's your really only opportunity. So every time the Wildcats turn it over, every team's obviously trying to punish on a turnover, but UCO knows that that's really their only opportunity to get a win here, because the idea of being able to grind down the Wildcats just is not quite feasible. And now Maloney drops it over to Swiger. Swiger can't get the shot through, so a good effort there by Rabrocker to get in the lane. And that'll be Sykes to Guerra, two of the most dangerous offensive players for UCO. So Gould down behind his net, plays it over to Maloney, as after Guerra and Baird were tied up for a while. Nice little drop pass there by Shetland to find Stefan with a beautiful move, but a better hip check there by Dubecki, as Stefan tried to go inside out around him, and Dubecki with the hip check just picked him up and took him down.
Yeah, great reverse hit there by the Wildcats.
Cooper Flynn, a little bit of a sneaky physical game here for him so far. Another big guy on the back end for the Wildcats, playing with a bit of an edge, and another chance here. Gould fights off the first rebound, but UCO buries the second. And just like that, UCO takes a 1-0 lead after being outshot 22-4 by the Wildcats. And like I said, opportunistic opportunities. And a great job by Redmond to follow up his rebound uncontested. So a bit of a defensive zone breakdown, and Redmond follows up his own shot.
UCO kind of just walked right through the slot and just had that second rebound, and it just didn't turn out for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's where Gould really doesn't have much of an opportunity. He's looking for a defenseman or a forward to pick up that guy after the rebound, but Wildcats went down by 1 in the first yesterday, were able to fight back, but after the start the Wildcats had, this is where you'll see what that bench is made of after you feel like you've just dominated an opponent for the first half of a period, and then all of a sudden you're down by 1. So now UCO with some good confidence, working it along the boards back to the point. And
the Wildcats are just playing like they're playing with a penalty kill. UCO is just working the puck around the outside very cleanly, getting that shot off on goal.
Well, for as good as the Wildcats felt about that shot lead, it kind of flips the other way, where all of a sudden it's more deflating to have that level of a shot lead as UCO starts to cut into it a bit. As they start to get their offensive opportunities, as the Wildcats maybe just started to relax a little bit too much, but Curley, he'll bring it over the blue line, dish it in deep. Hughes in on the forecheck. Dubecki back there with Holman for UCO, and Doucette gets a little bit of separation from Hughes. UCO finds the outlet. Now Sykes with time and space skates into the slot, and a good quick shot by Sykes off the pad of Gould, as UCO starting to find their momentum in their game all of a sudden here with 5:56 left to go in the period.
Yeah, and Sykes is just a very dangerous player on the ice. You just don't know where he is, and he seems to find the open ice and the passes every time.
So Hughes not able to keep a clean handle on that, but ends up getting it in deep. Maloney tries to feed Slack going to the net. The Wildcats wanted a line change. Dubecki, probably from how much he skated yesterday, those blades are worn down a little bit, but he's still moving quite well so far, driving some of that UCO offense from the back end. Now Eddie Slack, great job to hold on to that puck, keep driving into the zone. A good job by Mondi.
And it looks like the Wildcats are just trying to find passes for too long, and they're getting themselves caught in plays that they don't want to be in.
Now Eddie Slack with a powerful move, bouncing off of a couple checks to maintain possession. Josephson backs up on the hit at the last second, but Flynn does not. It'll be Redmond here for UCO, battling against Hull. They try to go to the slot, but a good read by Hanrahan. But Hogan strips him of the puck. Now Hogan gets it across to Mondi, and that one gets blocked.
And UCO, with those constant line changes, they always have fresh legs out on the ice.
UCO doing everything they can to conserve energy. they did stick with the Wildcats for most of the 60 minutes yesterday. It was really in the final 15 or so that the Wildcats were able to take advantage of that shortened UCO bench, but for how good the Wildcats have been here does not reflect it on the scoreboard whatsoever, as Thompson with a good read. Gould will glove down that fluttering puck and dish it off quickly to Hodgson. And now Rabrocker throws it in on Gould, paddles it out to the corner. Hodgson with Sykes shadowing him. As now Swiger just bounces it off the boards, would have maybe liked to find Rossi streaking through the middle.
And every time I look over at the neutral zone, get a line change from UCO, changing out some of the players or most of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably trying to limit shifts to 10, 15 seconds here if you can for UCO. Try to keep everybody as fresh as possible, but now Riley Rue gets it back to the point, but Maloney tries to choke up on the stick and shut that down at the blue line, just not able to. But now a chance here for Rue. Goes inside out, can't get the shot away though, as Mondi got a stick in the lane. So Pendleton really held this UCO team in the game early in the first when the Wildcats were just dominant, but now the defensive core for UCO stepping up.
UCO is really taking over the pace of this first period with 3:17 remaining.
Yeah, after about 12 minutes of domination by the Wildcats, UCO finds that first goal, and it really shifts the dynamic of this game.
And what's been very impressive by UCO is their tenacity behind the net in their defensive zone. They seem to always pick up the pucks, always win those one-on-ones in their zone.
I mean, even though UCO has had a bit of a tough go of it this season, you know, a very proud group, very proud team, very proud school. You know, they've done damage in the national tournament, gone to the Frozen Four, been in the finals before. So they know how to play with discipline and pride, and a lot of those guys from that Final Four team at the national tournament still on this roster for UCO. So maybe you don't have the full 18 guys, but the ones that you do have know what it takes to advance in the national tournament and win on the biggest stage, something the Wildcats have been trying to aspire to get to. So 3:07 left to go here in the first. UCO up by 1 on the goal from Redmond earlier in the first. And he's now back up with it. Number 18 for UCO, skating very tenderly over the bench. Stalzer, he looked like what had a very dangerous injury yesterday, was luckily just a pinched nerve that made it look worse than it was, but he was off with some discomfort as the Wildcats now just a defensive breakdown as it takes 3 Wildcats to get the puck away from 1 UCO player. Dubecki tries to touch it out into the slot, and a bouncing puck that Gould had to be aware to as that caromed off of a U of A player. Trying to spring Stefan up through the neutral zone. Dubecki forced to just glove it down. That'll be a hand pass. So we'll get a whistle as the puck will come out of the zone.
And Adam Stalzer just does not look like he's having a good time on the bench. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he left the game with what looked, like I said, a very scary injury yesterday. Hodgson went down awkwardly on top of him. Had to be helped off the ice by multiple people as he really wasn't able to move anything. But we know how tough hockey players are. Decided to dress yet again today, and I just flared up that injury as he's looking real uncomfortable. But UCO needs every single set of legs they can get, so I'm sure they're hoping that Stalzer over on the bench is able to get a little bit of icy hot on there in the intermission and get a couple shifts out of him at least. So the Wildcats here, Saturday matinee to finish off this homestand against UCO. And then the final 2 home games of the regular season against ASU, February 20th and 21st. But now Walker with a chance in the slot, goes a little bit wider, now takes it all the way around, can't finish off the wraparound though.
And Walker is just a great playmaker. That all started with a pinch on the blue line and just kept maintaining his pace all the way through the net.
So Doucette gets this one in on Gould. He paddles it down, gets it over to Stoner, and now Hughes in transition. Hughes with a nice move at the blue line, couldn't get the toe drag through. And Guerra, at the end of a shift, he'll slow things down a little bit, but uncontested gets right into the slot and gets a shot away. So the Wildcats just backed up and gave Guerra all time and space he needed to get a chance there away on Gould. It's another detail the Wildcats really need to clean up as Dubecki gets around Stoner, fires one through the slot. Redmond with a quick shot and a great block there by Hanrahan as a stick went tumbling through the air as it got knocked out of a player's hands. So Wildcats back in transition. Hanrahan, nice pass over to Baird, goes back to Hanrahan, but UCO able to recover with layers, and now a chance here for Redmond. Redmond over the line, quick shot, and I think that one ringed off the post, Garrett.
Yeah, that went off the crossbar, up and over into the netting. That was a really fast shot.
So Redmond showing his speed coming down the wing, gets a great chance away. So UCO has really cut into that shot lead.
And the Wildcats need to be careful of those cherry pickers that UCO has. They're trying to break up the ice a little bit so they don't have to use as much energy to get across the ice with pressure on you.
Yeah, the Wildcats definitely feel like they should have been rewarded. You know, they got to be feeling like they should have been rewarded for a goal, but Pendleton was just solid net for UCO. So with 35 seconds left to go in the period, now Redmond over the line. He gets taken down. Good job by Baird. The UCO has to be going into the locker room feeling very, very buoyed by this first period where they were outplayed but come away with a lead. Erickson now trying to cut into that, comes down the far board, stops up at the line. 12 seconds left to go in the period. Can the Wildcats get one last opportunity? Rossi feeds it back to Maloney. 5 seconds left. They got to get the shot away. Rossi with a quick shot. A lot of traffic out in front. Erickson banging away at it. And Pendleton covers it up in the final seconds. The UCO player went down there very awkwardly.
Yeah, it looks like he went down straight on his hip. Taking a little bit for him to get up off the ice.
And that's Stalzer, who's had a rough go of it. But UCO, even though they've had a rough go of it themselves in the first period, they come away with the 1-goal lead. So we will be back to bring you the second period after the intermission. Sebastian Janik with Garrett Kane. This is Wildcat Hockey.
Alrighty, here with Justin Hughes. You're returning after that experience at the World University Games. How was that experience for you? And, how did it help you feel like you grow as a player playing at that level of competition?
Yeah, it was awesome playing with all the best ACHA players from our country. It was a really good experience. Got to know a lot of the guys around the ACHA, and I feel like I learned a lot. I mean, obviously, there's some of the best players, and I played with some really high-level guys who are really good leaders, so they helped me take a lot back here, I'd say, like with leadership and obviously skill stuff.
Coming back into the building, taking one win against a top 10 team in Utah, how important is it to start getting that confidence back in this building as the national tournament's coming up here pretty soon?
Yeah, after losing a few exiting break, it's good to get one against a top 10 team, get higher in the rankings, and then help us get back on track and hopefully get a sweep this weekend.
You were playing on a line with Walker coming back against Utah. You guys had some great chemistry. How nice was it to be playing with a familiar guy once again? And how do you feel like your guys, games play off of one another?
Yeah, it's awesome playing with Walker. I've known him since I was really little, like 4 or 5 years old, and we've been best friends since. So it's fun playing with him. I think we understand each other without having to say much.
You could definitely see Walker's playmaking ability on display. He likes to slow things down with the puck. How do you feel like your game a little bit, maybe that speed through the neutral zone creates a little bit of time and space for Walker to set up those plays?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we're like yin and yang, where I'm the fast guy who likes to go to the net and he likes to be on the perimeter and make plays. So it works out.
And, coming back into this building after being abroad, how nice was it to get back in front of the fans here at the TCC?
Yeah, it was awesome being back in Tucson. We got decent crowds in Italy, but there's nothing like wearing a Wildcats jersey.
Alrighty, welcome back, Wildcat fans, as we get set to drop the puck here on the second period. After the Wildcats absolutely dominated for the first 12 minutes of that first period, Garrett, UCO comes back on just a great opportunistic chance, and Redmond able to follow up his own rebound and bury one on Gould after the U of A had just outshot UCO by such an incredible margin to start the game. 21 shots to 1 at one point, but UCO kept at it, ended up getting 13 shots in the period.
Yeah, and UCO's strategy with their line changes is just really making sure that they have fresh legs all the time on the ice with only 13 players.
Yeah,
it's
with
definitely
that,
working out for them.
they've done a good job just sticking with their systems, a proud team that's known how to win in the past. Not quite done it this season, but a proud group with a number of players who have gone far in the national tournament. So the Wildcats gonna really need to start converting some of those high danger opportunities, getting one past Pendleton here, who was fantastic for UCO to start the game. Gould not bad in his own regard. That goal that he did give up just really had no chance on that second opportunity rebound. So now the Walker tries to skate in. He gets hit up high, and Walker goes down. Rabrocker threw a shoulder into the head of Walker. He's a little bit shaken up.
That's definitely a dangerous play that you don't want to see on the ice. Having hands go up high, sticks, gloves into the face mask of another player.
Yeah, so looking back at it, yeah, Rabrocker just catches Walker up high. It looked a little bit unintentionally intentional. Luckily, Walker hopefully no worse for wear out here on the power play. So Wildcats with a huge opportunity here to try to even up this game early in the second period, as they'll go on the power play with Hughes and Rue and Walker up front.
And the Wildcats need to really focus on possession for this power play, making sure that they have it up high and making sure they're making good passes.
Wildcats did not score on their first power play opportunity, but had a number of good chances. It is now up to the point. Maloney, Shetland up there high with him, as well as Hughes down low, is maybe looking for a tip out in front, couldn't get it. Now Shetland with Maloney works it down low. Hughes, a little bit of a backhand turnaround pass. And Pendleton able to come out and seal the angle on the follow-up shot from Rue.
And Rue just kind of shot it right into Pendleton's chest. You kind of want to pick a corner when you're right in front, or a pad to get that rebound from another Wildcat player.
So now Rue in to take the face-off, wins it back to Maloney. Maloney over to Shetland. I'd like the Wildcats to go a little bit more east-west, get it cross ice. A lot of north-south here, but now Rue down below the goal line. Goes back to Hughes. Hughes, quick shot there from Shetland. But once again, read well by Pendleton as he gets the glove just over the pad. Gets the face-off for UCO as Chad Berman decides to stick with the same 5 power play unit. 1:15 left to go on the power play for the Wildcats with 18:59 left to go in the period. Rue not able to win that one cleanly, but Shetland battles against Sykes to win it back to Maloney. Now Maloney stop and start at the blue line. Goes down low to Rue. Rue shadowed there by Mondi. So Wildcats look to set it up. Hughes was all alone back door, but a good active stick there breaks up that pass. So now Rue, Walker streaking in. Or that was Stefan, actually. He's the lone change on this unit. Maloney and Stefan. Now over quickly, down low to Shetland, trying to find Hughes back door once again. Would like to see the Wildcats just get a little bit more aggressive on the shot opportunities.
And the Wildcats are really struggling to set up this umbrella.
And Walker just can't read where that's coming from. Redmond gets on his horse and forces Gould to come out to play it. Walker gets dragged down to the ice as Redmond on the penalty kill forecheck with 13 seconds left to go. The Wildcats will get one final rush here. Hannerhan drops it back to Swiger. Swiger with a shot. That one blocked and the follow-up goes wide. So Mondi does a good job to get in the lane for UCO. Swiger just sent it wide.
And the Wildcats are just inches away on every single shot they take from connecting with Pendleton or the back of the net.
So the Wildcats with another good couple opportunities, but just looking for that perfect backdoor tap, and it's just telegraphed a bit too much as UCO just reads what U of A is trying to do there.
Yeah, like I was saying in the first period, the Wildcats are really trying to look for those perfect passes and kind of waiting a little too long and having a play not turn out the way they want it to.
So the Wildcats, I mean, it's kind of hard to fault them on quantity, too. I mean, up to 26 shots so far in the game, but with the way Pendleton's been playing, just try to take away his eyes and get some rebounds out in the blue paint. So this line of Rossi, Erickson, and Swiger will try to go to work here. Swiger, quick turnaround shot. That one hits Erickson. Rossi working along the far boards, able to work it down low. Nice touch there to Swiger, and a big rebound comes out off of Pendleton. Like the look of that shot there from Swiger. Held in at the blue line by Hole.
This line is really bringing up the heat and the change of the pace for the second period.
So now Swiger over to Erickson. To Hole with a quick shot. Another good active stick by UCO as Struley broke that shot up. Big collision there along the far boards as Swiger and Dubecki go careening into the far board ends. Swiger always brings the physical intensity. As I said, it's amazing to think that he still hasn't scored a goal on the season with how active of a player he is in the offensive scoring touch we saw last season. But all that matters is this game right here for the Wildcats, currently trailing UCO down by 1. Every single point in the final games of the season, so important for the national tournament. But now Guerra will bring it over the line for UCO. He'll work down deep, quick wraparound chance there. And now Doucette, he looks to go out front. Trying to connect there with Sykes. Now they do get it out to him, but just read it at the last second with Sykes and wasn't able to get the shot away. So the top line for UCO, once again, showing how opportunistic they can be. But now Josephson over the line, drops it down to Hanrahan. Hanrahan back to the point to Stoner. Shot never gets through. Stoner's got to be careful here as UCO was going for a change, but they were able to cause a turnover there. Would have been numbers going back towards Gould. And now Doucette, if he could have handled that breakout pass, UCO would have had a clean 2-on-1 over the line. Yeah. Now a chance out in the slot and a quick shot, and what a blocker save by Gould on Rabrocker.
And there's been quite a few line change mishaps on the Wildcats, allowing them for odd man rushes and pretty dangerous plays against Gould.
Redmond absolutely buried Curley there, and
we have a delayed penalty here on UCO, sorry.
Yeah, it was a pretty blatant hold behind the play, just trying to prevent Baird from breaking it out of his zone. And you get the armed wraparound and take down a guy like that, it's going to get called every time. But
so it's going to be a 6-on-5 until UCO touches the puck.
So Walker can't get the shot away there. UCO gets possession, and the Wildcats will be heading back onto the power play. It's going to be a hook called there. Definitely one of the more blatant penalties we've seen over these last two games. It's just you get that tied up with a guy trying to break the puck out of the zone and going to go to the box every time. So once again, the Wildcats gifted with a power play opportunity after a bit of an undisciplined penalty there from Redmond, who is the lone goal scorer for UCO.
And this is going to be the third power play for the Wildcats. They really need to put a puck in the back of the net.
Yeah, they got to change up the strategy here, looking for that backdoor play. We'd really like to see just a bit more shots. Shetland does decide to get the shot quickly away there. But once again, UCO doing a good job of getting in lanes and blocking shots. So Shetland, he'll turn up the red line with speed, dishes it over. Shetland plays give and go. Walker feeds it over to Hughes. That extra touch back to the point. Shetland tries to fling it quickly across to Walker. Couldn't handle the pass. So now Maloney, head up. Quick shot there from Walker. A big rebound opportunity was there for Rue. Just couldn't quite get the follow-up chance, but a good opportunity by Walker, and a bank off of the UCO player, and they score. So Riley Rue with a little bit of puck luck there. Nothing to be done by Dubecki as it just gets banked off of him and past Pendleton. So Riley Rue, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and said that's what he was going for. He read the angles perfectly and was able to deflect that one in.
Yeah, Riley Rue was definitely very dangerous on that power play, kind of moving around the ice, kind of like a snake, just sneaking behind players, trying to find open ice, and finally found it.
So the Wildcats break down the penalty kill structure.
Goal! A power play goal scored by number 18, Riley Rue. Assistant number 9, Justin Hughes, and number 27, Tyler Shetland. Time of the goal, 5:27.
So the top power play unit gets this game back to even. Doucette almost had a chance in all alone as the Wildcats, a little bit of a careless turnover right after tying this game. Rabrocker with a shot, that gets blocked. Another block shot there by Flynn. So the Wildcats getting in lanes as well to help out Gould as this building comes to life a little bit after that first goal coming from Riley Rue. Hopefully the Wildcats can start to build some momentum off the back of that after what has been a little bit of a dead second period for them here. Now a chance, they go back to Doucette. Gould had slid all the way across as they bang away at it behind the red line.
A little bit of extracurriculars after the play in front of the net. But UCO just really understands how to break apart Wildcats defense in through the neutral zone, and they're just pressuring pucks with the 3-on-2. Seen it multiple times here in the second period and a lot in the first.
Yeah, UCO's entries off the rush have definitely been, when they've been their most dangerous, been relying on a good bit of dump and chase hockey with that shortened bench, but when they're able to connect those couple of good, crisp 3 passes in a row.
Yeah, and Wildcats' strong defensive line is just breaking those out pretty much every time here, limiting those shots on goal.
So Rue now with goals in back-to-back games. He'll come out to take the face-off against Hogan. And the Wildcats, one thing they've done a good job of is staying out of the box and being disciplined. So Slack, good burst of speed, gets it over to Shetland. Shetland tried to go 5-hole, and Pendleton just sealed it off at the last second as there was some room there. Now a chance out in front. Rue with a deceptive little backhand shot, but right into Pendleton.
Yeah, that backhand almost went right under Pendleton's glove for another goal opportunity for the Wildcats. Yeah, Riley Rue is doing a great job of crashing the net, trying to find those open opportunities, those extra tips.
Riley Rue definitely considered one of kind of the core, in college hockey you got guys rotating in and out, obviously a lot more than you see at any other level of hockey just because of graduations and things like that. But Riley Rue in his first season as a Wildcat, definitely promising for the future. It's been great for them so far this season at the center position. Went and played at the World University Games with Hughes and Chad Berman as an assistant coach, but all that matters right now is trying to establish a lead against UCO in a game that you've certainly been the better team, but just not been rewarded for it so far. So that one gets touched up into the netting by Baird, and we'll get another face-off here as the pace of the game starts to slow down a little bit. So face-off comes outside the U of A zone. Wildcats still heavily out-shooting UCO. But UCO has stayed right with the Wildcats. A lot more so in this second period. And now Redmond, the two Redmond brothers, 10 and 11, working it up the ice. But just as I talked about that discipline from the Wildcats, they're going to go for a penalty here, the curse of the announcer.
Yeah, and Redmond with a massive burst of speed, trying to get around the defensive line of the Wildcats.
So that burst of speed forces Baird to get a stick in there. He's going to go 2 minutes for tripping. So now UCO with their first power play opportunity of this game. Definitely where UCO looked their most dangerous yesterday. So So Guerra out there with Hogan, Sykes, and Dubecki. So now Sykes gets it over to Dubecki. We saw this umbrella formation with Guerra in the middle, man posted up in front. Sykes with a beautiful one-timer, and that ringed off the post.
Yeah, it definitely takes a special team to run the umbrella that way, having that extra guy in the middle for a pass opportunity.
So good read there as UCO tried to go back to the point, but they keep possession in the zone. Sykes shakes off the check of Josephson. Dubecki, they get it across. Quick one-timer there from Hogan, and that one just went wide on the blocker side. Now Dubecki working with it down below the red line. Gets it across.
Great shot block by Hodgson on that play.
So the Wildcats trying to keep their penalty kill structure here as UCO looks to collapse down low. Sykes with a nice little move there against Cosden. They throw it in on net. Gould has to hold the post as UCO putting the pressure on this Wildcats penalty kill unit. They go east-west across the zone. Hogan back to Dubecki. Plays catch there with Hogan. Hogan looking for a tip out in front from Doucette. And they just couldn't connect. 41 seconds left to go on the power play.
And the Wildcats just not able to pick up a loose puck that UCO drops. Just
Guerra
maintaining possession here.
Now back to Sykes, and that one just slid under the blade.
25 seconds left in the penalty kill.
Chance now out in front once again, and Gould seals it off, and they'll finally get a whistle after about 1 minute and 40 seconds of continuous power play time for UCO. So Gould does a good job there, but you know, I think you compare, obviously the Wildcats do get the power play goal from Riley Rue, but you compare the puck movement between the two power plays, very different approaches from team to team.
Yeah, they definitely have a completely different structure. The way Wildcats play against UCO for the penalty kill, they play a lot lower.
UCO really looking for those shots from the slot, shots from the dot. Wildcats looking more for that 2-on-1 backdoor play. But UCO still with a little bit of time here as Gould fights through the traffic to glove that one down as Struley was posted up in front. So 11:02 left to go in the second period. All tied up at 1 here at the Tucson Arena. Thank you so much for joining into the live stream, everybody. If you are able to make it for those final ASU games of the season, cannot recommend it enough. Going to have 2 double headers Thursday and Friday. U of A women's program playing at 1 against ASU, and then the men's program playing at 7:30. So 2 days, 4 games, U of A versus ASU. Going to be a great celebration of rivalry hockey here in the desert. But the Wildcats really need to focus on coming away with a win here against a diminished UCO team, with every point in the standings so critical for this Wildcats group. But Walker creates a little bit of time and space. Maloney tries to get the shot away once again, blocked by UCO. That one comes right down into the blue paint. Walker not able to finish it off as Pendleton was sprawling to get the leg back across.
And Pendleton struggling to get a stick back into his hands.
Got it now. Curley with a quick shot. Pendleton can't handle the rebound, so Walker will tie up his man. But Doucette for UCO with Dubecki streaking down the middle. Glove down at the blue line there. The Wildcats try to get another quick up. Curley fights around the check of his man, had support coming. And just that extra backdoor no-look pass now leads to a 2-on-1 for UCO. Guerra, backdoor, what a save by Gould as he bails out his teammates on a huge 2-on-1 stop. Guerra waited till the very last second to try to complete that pass, and Gould read it the whole way.
Yeah, Gould had perfect timing on that to go across the posts on that to get that save.
The Wildcats just a little bit too confident there to just ice the puck with a lot of tired skaters on the ice. As when you see 3 guys simultaneously have their sticks above their heads, it's a tired group of guys. So the Wildcats going to need to get possession and get a change here. So it'll be up to Hughes in the dot against Sykes, as UCO going to try to take advantage of a tired Wildcats group. They get their most offensively powered players out on the ice. Wildcats trying to get it out of the blue line, and they finally do. So a good job by Walker to hustle on to Dubecki, allow the Wildcats to change out behind. That gives Rossi a bit of time and space to get onto that puck. Tries to feed it up middle, but Guerra got a skate on it. Now Rossi with a good little burst of speed, drops it back to Stoner. He tries to fire one on net. That hit the stick of Rabrocker. Rossi with a good hard hit. Erickson just throws one in on net.
And Erickson is just really trying everything to get that puck on net. Even when he was down on the ground, he was still trying to get his shot off.
Yeah, this line has been the most shot-focused one so far. Erickson, once again, good big shot off the pads, creates a rebound opportunity. Redmond with a couple nice moves, but can't escape the pressure of Erickson. Just a flailing backhand attempt does get it out to the red line.
And the pace of this Wildcats line is definitely trying to move it away from UCO keeping the tenacity during this period.
Yeah, I've liked this line combination of Swiger, Erickson, and Rossi. They've brought some good energies, created some good opportunities, but they have been held to the perimeter. So now UCO trying to battle along the near boards and get possession. Some good changing out there as the Wildcats are able to bank it off the boards once, twice, but not out. So now Stoner on it. He's under pressure in the corner. He needs some help. But it's Redmond who gets to it first. Now Hodgson, he's got to be careful. And it finally does come out of the zone as Cervantes at the red line. He dishes it right back in. 7:36 left to go in the second period. All tied up at 1 as UCO starts to apply the consistent pressure. Hogan looking to go out into the slot. Slack had that read and taken away.
And for the first time this game, UCO definitely looks like they have more energy than the Wildcats on the ice.
So now Rue tries to go back to Shetland. They can't connect. That was the most offensively dominant shift we've seen out of UCO time-wise so far. Rue tries to touch one back to Shetland, but UCO had collapsed down on him and just nowhere for him to go with the puck. Now a turnover here. Hogan can't take advantage as it's thrown back out of the zone. Mondi dishes it up through the middle. Sealed at the red line, but UCO with a couple more attempts. They get it in deep. So Flynn, he'll stop up, look for the escape. Finally finds it with support from Curley. He touches it up the boards to Walker. That'll back off the defense. Walker into the slot to Curley, and he just sent that one high and wide.
Yeah, looks like the puck was bobbling on Curley's stick, so he couldn't quite get the connection he wanted.
Hughes dishes it back to the point. They throw a quick shot on that. That one goes wide. Now Walker can't connect with Hull. UCO not able to get it past the blue line. Now Hull, a lot of no-look backhand passes for the Wildcats. And, you know, as much as I'm a fan of this team, that is not the style you want to be playing against UCO right now. It's got to be a little bit more straightforward, straight-ahead hockey. Just probably could count at least 10 no-look backhand passes trying to find that trailing man for the Wildcats, but just
Wildcats are definitely getting a lot of opportunities inside the offensive zone. They're getting plenty of shots. It's 36-20 for the shot clock, and it's just getting a little too fancy. One too many passes. You just got to get that shot off onto the goal.
I mean, after the Wildcats had 21 shots in the first 9 or so minutes of the first, only 10 shots here through the second so far, and I think that's just been reflective of the Wildcats' mentality of just that keep trying for that extra one-touch pass, trying to find that last open man for a guaranteed goal. And, you know, UCO, there's a reason they're not undefeated this season, because they can give up goals just like everyone else. And, you know, Pendleton has been solid, but the Wildcats in the second period just have not tested him nearly enough, in my opinion, when it comes to forcing him to control rebounds and fight through traffic. It's just been a little bit too much one and done for the Wildcats offensively in the zone so far, but 6:08 left to go in the second. Still a lot of hockey left here to play this afternoon. As after the media timeout, Rue in to take the face-off against Sykes. Wildcats able to win it. Maloney over to Baird. Can't get it past the stick check of Doucette, as Gould will be forced to come out Knock this one down over to Baird. Slack tries to quickly get it out. So the Wildcats with a different look here. Don't think I've actually seen Wyatt Stefan in a pretty long time, if not this whole period, I'm starting to realize now, because Slack has been playing up on that first line. So the Wildcats, big opportunity there. That's the type of shot the Wildcats need. Works out well for Doucette, though, as he tries to get around Maloney, but a great smart poke check there.
Yeah, great job by Maloney breaking up that play. Just on an unlucky bounce off of that rebound.
So, yeah, just realizing now that Wyatt Stefan has not been out here for the entirety of this second period. It's a huge loss for the Wildcats offensively, as he scored a hat trick yesterday. 11 points in 7 games, so the Wildcats shorthanded a bit of their own now on the top 6, as Eddie Slack has been moved up to that line with Rue and Shetland.
And the refs are definitely letting both of these teams play. Quite a bit of extracurriculars behind the play on that last one between Maloney and the UCO player.
So now face off in the U of A zone. Hughes in to take it against Redmond. The ref will have a little discussion about how to drop the puck as Redmond and Hughes wait. Hughes able to win it over to Stoner. Wildcats trying to spring Curley through the middle, and they do. Now Curley in with a little bit of time and space, but ridden off the puck. Holman. So a good combination, you know. Great job there by Pendleton to come out, take a little bit of time and space away, and then Holman takes away the remainder. Walker throws a quick shot. Pendleton gloves that.
Yeah, and Pendleton really showing what he can do in net this period and the first period.
I mean, the first period, he was the only reason that UCO didn't give up 5 goals in the first 8 minutes. He was fantastic.
UCO's definitely seeing a lot more defensive help for Pendleton on this period.
Yeah, when you're getting outshot 21-1, I don't think there's much more that your goaltender can possibly do after keeping things tied after that, but allowed UCO to settle in, find their game. They got the go-ahead goal. Wildcats were able to tie it up here in the second. Now working down below the goal line, and a chance out in front for Erickson, just put it wide. But this line, once again, of Swiger, Erickson, and Rossi generating some good opportunities in the UCO zone. That one gets deflected all the way past the red line. Now Swiger with speed down the near boards. Quick shot there. That one's off the blocker of Pendleton. Now a chance out for Erickson, and Pendleton read that beautifully, as Erickson got a great chance away from just outside the blue paint. But Pendleton square to the shot.
Yeah, Brian Erickson definitely had the right idea going on the left weak side of Pendleton, but he was just in perfect position for that play.
Definitely, I think, the most complete line for Chad Berman's Wildcats so far here this afternoon. They haven't been rewarded with a goal, but Erickson, Swiger, and Rossi have brought a great level of compete and intensity every time that line's been on the ice. So now Josephson in to take the face-off for the Wildcats. Not able to win that one. Mondi banks it off the boards, but it's Josephson who reads the play and comes away with it. Now Hannerham working with Josephson below the goal line. 4-man battle along the boards. Sykes giving the little cross checks there to Josephson. But Hannerhan, great job to come away with the puck. They feed it back to the point to Baird. He throws a quick shot on net. Maloney, the defenseman, had pinched all the way down above the blue paint looking for a tip. Now Hannerhan with a couple nice moves. Cosden, quick shot here with a number of tips out in front. That might have got double deflected and just went high and wide.
And Maloney is still down low playing offense.
So 3:28 left to go in the second period. Quick turnaround shot from Josephson. And Pendleton once again square to the shot. So interesting look there from the defenseman and Maloney to be kind of posted up 2 feet outside of the blue paint. But big body like Maloney, not a bad idea to try to take the eyes away from Pendleton.
I'm not sure if it was Maloney's intent to play forward that whole time or if he was just pinched up and couldn't get back, but
just the way the rotation worked out. But now a quick shot there from Stoner. That one just flutters wide. Slack, good job to hold it in, tries to get it back into the dangerous area of the ice, but UCO reads it. I don't think Pendleton saw that one until the last second. That shot coming from outside the red line. So now Stoner under pressure. Good composed defensive effort there by Stoner to find the outlet valve. And they feed it up middle to Shetland. 2:53 left to go. Can Shetland and Rue get to work here? They feed it back to Eddie Slack, and another good save there by Pendleton as Eddie Slack let one rip, but once again into the chest. No rebound by Pendleton. Good puck control by him there.
And that's a great example of the Wildcats formulating the perfect plays and perfect break-ins, and they're just not finishing and getting a puck in the back of the net.
Shetland and Rue did a great job there on the give and go to create the zone entry. Slack on the follow-up gets a scoring chance. But Pendleton squared it once again. Now Slack over to Hull. Not long left to go in this second period where the Wildcats were able to tie it up on a power play goal from Riley Rue. Now the Wildcats at the blue line. Curley drags it over. Slack still out there. Back to Curley. Tries to find the trailing man in Rue and just couldn't get much on it. So now Rue throws it around the boards.
We're seeing that exact play by the Wildcats every single time. Have a man down low, backhands into the slot, and it's not going in.
Yeah, I think UCO just has the Wildcats figured out a little bit here in terms of, UCO's just, I feel like they're doing a good job of just always predicting, hey, that Wildcats player is going to try to make that extra pass, and they take away the passing lane instead of the shooting lane. So Curley tied up there pretty interestingly with Dubecki as they kind of just both slowly go down to the ice, and there's a whistle as I believe the puck was underneath Curley. So with 1:41 left to go, after the Wildcats took a 5-2 win yesterday and head coach Chad Berman was still not too pleased, I got a feeling that's a bit of an angry man in a gray suit on that bench right now, but still the Wildcats with a little bit of time here in the second and then the third to come out and show they're capable of adapting and changing to the situation, which from the way this game has gone, they're going to need an adjustment to try to beat Pendleton, who has just been up to the task for basically everything the Wildcats have thrown at him so far, which is over 40 shots. Sykes, he'll drive wide, throw a quick one in on Gould, just paddles it high. Guerra down below the net. The Wildcats get the outlet. Erickson, he feeds it middle. Now maybe a 2-on-1 here if Maloney can hustle with Swiger. And the pass just out front of Swiger. Couldn't get a chance away. Erickson skates in. And Swiger, who had lost his stick, had to go to the bench, or he would have been all alone in the slot. So a bit of an unfortunate break there for the Wildcats as Erickson stripped his man of the puck. I think Swiger is going to be there, but he had to go for a change. Now Erickson once again uses great speed, feeds it into the slot. Wildcats not sure if they were looking for a shot there, but the rebound off of the UCO player gets in on Pendleton, and the Wildcats will get yet another offensive zone draw with 50 seconds left to go.
Yeah, those bobble pucks are really dangerous. As you saw with Pendleton, he kind of struggled trying to find where that puck was going. He almost missed it on his right pad.
So the Wildcats, a little bit of time here left in the second period. If Rue can get an offensive zone face-off. Rue wins it back. Shetland hustles to get there. Now Shetland circles around from the near dot. Pendleton with a great blocker save there as Shetland got one away quickly. Rue not able to beat his man to the puck, but good support once again from Shetland. Now Shetland with a chance and sends it wide on the glove side. So Tyler Shetland with some fantastic opportunities in the final 50 seconds of this second period. But Pendleton with a great blocker save on one, and then Shetland trying to pick the glove corner, goes wide on the other. So the Wildcats with another offensive zone opportunity if Hughes can win this back. Trying to get another good opportunity set up before heading into the locker room for the second intermission. So So Hughes in against Hogan. Hogan, great job there to win the faceoff for UCO, as Struley just content to bang it off the boards. That one was played with a high stick, so we'll get a face-off in the U of A zone. So now UCO with the chance of their own to set up a final scoring opportunity before the second intermission. It'll be Hogan in to take the face-off against Hughes. Hogan was able to win that last face-off cleanly.
Got a big face-off for UCO.
So Hogan once again able to win it back. Thompson with a quick shot from the slot, and they score. Waved off, though, a high stick. So the Wildcats get a bit of a break there. Obviously, if it had not been played with a high stick, might not have been a goal to begin with. But either way, that one waved off immediately as UCO gets a set play off the face-off. Yeah, definitely well above the crossbar and the shoulder on the tip there. So we'll stay all tied up at 1 with 12.5 left to go. That set face-off play for UCO almost makes the Wildcats pay at the very end of the second. 6 seconds left, as this will be the final whistle of the period. So we'll be back to bring you the third in just a little bit. The Wildcats are able to tie this one in the second on a power play goal from Riley Rue. Sebastian Janik with Garrett Kane. This is Wildcat Hockey.
Alrighty, here with Billy Maloney, one of the new additions over the winter break. What's your time been like so far playing at the U of A, and what made you decide to come play here in Tucson?
Yeah, obviously it's beautiful out here. Being from New Jersey, I've never really been out on the West Coast besides LA, and the mountains, everything, it's beautiful. I love the schooling here, beautiful campus, and the hockey's been great so far.
And, playing in the Tucson arena, it's a little bit of a unique environment. What's that been like for you so far as a player, playing in front of these fans in a building like this?
Yeah, it's a great rink here. I love the fans. I love the support. It's been great so far, and it just makes it so much better showing up to the rink every day knowing you got that support.
And as a player, what do you feel like you bring to this D-core? You play with a couple different guys on a couple different pairings so far, but how would you kind of describe your game and what you bring to the table for this team?
Yeah, I'm definitely a puck mover. I think I bring physicality to the back end, and obviously with that, I bring some skill too. So I would kind of consider myself a two-way defenseman, and I think I can bring a lot to the table here.
And how would you kind of describe, the pace of the ACHA, what you've seen so far coming from the BCHL, and how different has it been adjusting to, the ACHA?
Yeah, it's definitely a heavier game. A lot of older guys out here, and I would think that I would be pretty old, but no, that's not the case at all. A lot of guys have played juniors, so it's definitely not easy. It's no cakewalk whatsoever, but it's been great so far, and the compete's been awesome.
All right, here with Wyatt Stefan. You got to draw into your first couple of games as a Wildcat so far this semester. What's it been like playing at the U of A so far, and why did you decide to come play here in Tucson?
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience just getting here for the first 4 weeks and getting to know all the guys and the coaches, and just the atmosphere around here and the building that we get to play in is next level. And I think it was just an easy decision at the end of the day. When it comes to schooling and hockey, it's just, I feel like there's no better place than where we are.
As a player, how would you kind of describe your game? Is there anyone that you kind of model yourself off of that you at that NHL level that you would kind of try to, emulate the best you can?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I feel like I don't want to take away from just one single player, but when you look at different parts of different people's games, it's tough to do, but I'd love like Arizona-born Austin Matthews. He's got an unreal shot, so that's an awesome guy to look after and just look at what they're doing and how they're playing and try to implement those things into your game.
Definitely saw that you had some chemistry with Riley Rue in those games against Utah. How do you feel like your game complements his, and what does he bring that helps bring out the best in your game?
Yeah, he's a great player to play with, great guy on and off the ice. I mean, he's always bringing a positive attitude. And I've known him forever, so it makes sense if there's something going on, right or wrong, where you have the connection to be able to tell each other and understand each other. And I feel like we've only had one weekend together so far, but I feel like it's definitely something that's going to grow over these years.
Welcome back, Wildcat fans, as we get set to drop the puck on the third period. Wildcats and UCO come into the final 20 minutes all tied up at 1. Wildcats were able to get a power play goal from Riley Rue in the second to tie it up after UCO took the lead in the first. And all credit given to UCO for the effort they've put in here this afternoon. 3 games in 3 days. But they've stayed with the Wildcats for 40 minutes. A big subtraction from the Wildcats' top 6 after the first period. Wyatt Stefan did not return to the ice, so Eddie Slack moved up to the top line with Rue and Shetland in that previous period. We'll see if Berman decides to stick with that trio. Definitely thought kind of the pseudo third line for the Wildcats of Erickson, Swiger, and Rossi were by far the most effective trio for the Wildcats up front. And they just played with speed and intensity throughout the entirety of that first and second period, hopefully. And that's why I think you're going to see Erickson elevated to the top line here from what he's brought so far this game. So Chad Berman decides to switch out Slack with Erickson. See if him, Rue, and Shetland can get something done here in the third. As Dubecki, he'll bounce it in deep. Guerra not able to beat out the icing, as this will come all the way down into the UCO zone. So after the Wildcats jumped out to a 21-1 shot lead, they've reestablished that gap up to 44 shots on Pendleton. But all the praise to Camden Pendleton as well for UCO, who have really kept them in this game in terms of quality and quantity from the Wildcats forwards and their offensive opportunities. Shetland ties up his man behind the net. Now Doucette will look for a bit of open ice and finds it on the wing to Sykes. Sykes driving to the middle, gets forced to the outside by Maloney. Sykes and Guerra have been a dangerous duo when they get in on the rush, but a good job by Maloney to shut that down. Shetland gets taken down hard into the boards, but pops right back up, and he'll go off for a change as Chad Berman wants to get his next set of forwards out here. Baird not able to fight through the pressure, but Erickson turns it right back into the UCO zone, takes a hit to get it in deep.
And the Wildcats looking a lot more comfortable on the ice here in the third period.
So Erickson in on the forecheck. Working down low below the red line there. Brings it out. Turns. Quick stop. Goes around to Hughes. Dubecki back there for UCO. But now a chance there at the side of the net. The Wildcats were maybe hoping to have someone in the slot, or maybe Walker just didn't quite get all of that. But just kind of a push pass into the slot. Doesn't force Pendleton to make a save, but now in transition here, Curley not able to skate onto it. With a minute and a half gone here in a tied game in the third period.
And the Wildcats really trying to keep on the pressure with those dump-in passes.
The Wildcats, after the game yesterday, Coach Berman said it was up to the guys in this room to get it done, and they don't running out of time here on Saturday. Now a chance out in front, and they score. Great job by Hughes to maintain possession of that puck, allow Curley to streak in and finish it backdoor. Absolutely no chance for Pendleton.
And Pendleton just stepped up a little bit too far out of the crease and just got beat.
So a beautiful job there by Hughes. Uses the reach, the height, and the size to hold that puck wide, and Curley with a good offensive instinct to drive to the back post, and the Wildcats get their first lead of this Saturday matinee against UCO. So hopefully the Wildcats can snowball a little bit of momentum here as Berman goes back to Rossi. Swiger.
So no Wildcats goal! Scored by number 8, Jack Curley. Assistant number 9, Justin Hughes, and number 16, Dylan Walker. Time of the goal, 1:51. Again, Wildcat goal. Scored by number 8, Jack Curley. Assistant number 9, Justin Hughes, and number 16, Dylan Walker.
So Hughes, the leading forward scorer for the Wildcats so far this season, picks up another point.
And a deflection from Pendleton's stick allows the Wildcats to get an in-zone face-off.
So a good job there by Slack, just throwing it on the pads, forces Pendleton to stick it up high. and allows the Wildcats to try to go back to work in the offensive zone with Rossi and to take the face-off against Redmond. Swiger touches it back to the point. Baird with a quick shot, double deflection, and that just trickled wide.
Yeah, Slack almost had that on the weak side.
So now Baird with another quick shot. Pendleton in the lane. Rossi with a follow-up. Another good shift here. Different look on this line with Slack on the wing instead of Erickson. But those two guys in Swiger and Rossi have brought it all throughout this Saturday afternoon. And Baird, a couple great opportunities, finds the shooting lane, gets it in on Pendleton. So off the back of that go-ahead goal from Curley, the Wildcats build on it with another good shift. The Wildcats really need to keep trying to pile on this momentum, run up the score a little bit here, get some confidence before heading on the road to take on San Diego State before coming back to the Tucson Arena February 20th and 21st for the final two games of the regular season against nobody other than ASU. Best way to finish things up, but Cosden not able to get the backhand pass out to the slot. Now Doucette, he finds Sykes with a bit of speed. Hodgson decides to play the body, not the puck, takes Sykes out of the play. UCO trying to keep it in the zone, just not able to. Dubecki steps up and slams that back into the zone. Stoner head up, not able to get it out, but he gets a second opportunity as Guerra was gassed at the end of a shift, so Stoner a little bit lucky there, but Guerra tries to stay out, not able to reach for that one.
And the energy on the ice from both teams is definitely picked up in the beginning of this third period.
So now the Wildcats, they get an opportunity to possibly take advantage of some tired UCO players. This is where the Wildcats were able to open up the scoring. Yesterday was about halfway through the third as UCO began to just run out of gas with that shortened bench, lack of skaters. But they've done a good job from what I expected to be a very exhausted UCO team this Saturday afternoon. They've come out and played with a lot of pace after pretty brutal first 12 minutes for them, but Pendleton kept them in it.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it from the bench. Wildcats are standing up, and most of the UCO players are sitting down.
So now 3-on-2 opportunity. Rue feeds it across to Shetland. He just couldn't get the shot away. Now a chance out into the slot. That one to Erickson, but just a little bit mistimed by him. Thompson not able to beat Baird out to it. A great effort there by Baird to get to it first. Slaps Maloney in the back with a puck, but the follow-up gets it in deep as Erickson races it on the forecheck, gets to it first. Erickson with a tight move there, but couldn't connect with Walker. Now the back check for the Wildcats, going to have to get quickly into the zone as Sykes tries to throw it slot.
And Flynn caught flat-footed on that play. Great recovery for him.
So now racing back the other way was Walker trying to put the pressure on Sykes. Slow to get out of the zone as he took a hard hit. Hughes tries to feather it to the middle, couldn't connect. So now Mondi. Hughes reads that well. Now Hughes working with Curley. The behind-the-back pass. Certainly not going to fault Hughes after he set up that beautiful goal for Curley, but would have liked to see a little bit more of a definitive pass there. Hughes really likes to get creative, trying to find guys streaking into soft areas of the ice, but as long as he gets back on the back check, I won't fault him for anything.
It looks like it's going to be a tripping penalty on the Wildcats, so they're going to go in for a penalty kill.
So holding on to a one-goal lead here in the third period. I believe that'll be number 4, Billy Maloney, skating to the box on the trip. Reaches in with the stick. That was actually Cooper Flynn, my apologies. So Flynn reaches in, takes down the UCO player, and with just a one-goal lead, the Wildcats will go back on the PK. No surprise to see Will Josephson and Brian Erickson out there as the penalty-killing forwards. But UCO, Dubecki, able to get it back to the point. Now Doucette, back to Dubecki, over to Hogan, doing what they do so well on the power play, which is go east-west and north-south. Work it around the perimeter on the umbrella and create a good shot opportunity, but Gould saw that one all the way through.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with the defensive positioning of the Wildcats, really keeping UCO on the outside so Gould can see that puck going all the way through.
So now Sykes in to take the face-off. Josephson's waved out. UCO able to win it, but they split the D, and then it'll come back into the UCO zone. So now Dubecki, he'll look to set up the breakout as Sykes gains a little bit of speed, drops it back to Dubecki. Now they go to the wing. Would have been a great entry there, but the pass just ahead, but Sykes with good layers. Dubecki skates over to seal off the far boards. Hodgson in a battle against two UCO players. Guerra comes away with it. Now Dubecki. They go back to the point. Quick shot there. Gould didn't see that until the very last second, as Dubecki did a great job of waiting for there to be bodies in the lane before letting that shot rip.
Yeah, fantastic breakout by Erickson, shooting that puck down, forcing UCO to reset on that play.
So 55 seconds left to go on a very important penalty kill here for the Wildcats with 13:52 left to go in the third period. Only up by one. Maloney at the goal line working with Walker. 5 players in the pile, 3 for UCO. And Mondi tries to go back to Redmond. Mondi with a good hold in at the blue line. Allows Rabrocker to work it across. Second unit out there for UCO. They get a chance in the slot, and Gould has to fight that one off with a pad.
Yeah, and UCO just looks so comfortable up top, working those passes in dangerous positions, but they're going through.
Yeah, UCO over these last 2 games certainly has looked the most comfortable on the power play, as a lot of teams do, but UCO, after watching a lot of ACHA hockey this year, very impressed by the power play movement that UCO brings, especially on that first unit. As Redmond, number 11 for UCO, stir things up a little bit in front of Gould here. So the Wildcats have done a good job staying out of the box for most of this game. Only given up 2 power play opportunities for UCO.
Only 3 seconds left on this power play.
So in 3 seconds, Flynn will hop out of the box and we'll go back to 5-on-5. So we'd really like to see the Wildcats try to push for that insurance goal, not sit back and try to hold a 1-goal lead against a dangerous, opportunistic team in UCO. Is Dubecki, he threw that on net.
Fantastic shot block by Hodgson on that play.
And then Hodgson reads it, able to get possession. Shetland, though, turns it right back over to Dubecki. He rips a shot, but Flynn did a good job to get a stick in the lane there and break up that opportunity.
It was great to see Flynn drop down on that one knee to try to get that initial shot, and then has a stick in the lane for the second opportunity.
So the Wildcats with a defensive zone draw. And actually, I see number 26, Stefan, back on the ice now. Didn't actually see him come out from the locker room. Maybe just giving him a test shift here. Not quite sure what's been the story with him. I'll have to ask Tanner Harris after the game. But UCO trying to work it down low, but great to see Wyatt Stefan back out on the ice, as this top 6 without him has looked a lot different so far throughout this game. After Stefan came in and scored a hat trick yesterday, Dubecki stood up at the blue line. Wildcats trying to work it out of the zone. Baird gets it past the blue line, but right to Dubecki, and UCO will get right back on the attack. So now Maloney to Baird. Baird trying to go up through the middle of the ice. Hughes gets enough on it to touch it down into the zone. Hughes gets in there against Dubecki. First piece of rubber that Pendleton has seen for quite a while in net for UCO, just decides to glove that down.
Yeah, and UCO's doing a great job of spreading out the ice, making sure that they get the line changes, keeping 2 men down low in the offensive zone and trying to force Wildcats to slow the puck down a little bit so they can get their players out.
So Wildcats up to 50 shots on the afternoon. Only 2 have beaten Pendleton so far. So 48 saves on a Saturday afternoon for Pendleton. Now Flynn, quick shot. That one goes wide. And UCO just content to knock this all the way down the ice. And it'll come back into their zone for another face-off. And Hogan, number 22 for UCO, has been great in the dot so far this afternoon. They'll trust him once again to try to win this one against Hughes, as he's out there with Walker and Curley, Maloney and Baird on the back end. So Hughes against Hogan. Hughes wins it forward. Nice little idea there by Hughes. Switches out with Maloney. He'll come down low into the zone. Now gets it over to Curley. Curley tries to wrap it around, but Baird had vacated the point at the near side, so it'll come back into the U of A zone, allow UCO to get a change. Thompson puts the pressure on Baird, but a good composed play to drop it back to Maloney, and now the Wildcats will try to get the breakout they're looking for. Not even quite sure if that was a reverse hit by Hughes. I think Rabrocker just got the worst of the exchange there. But now they'll go up through the middle with some speed over the blue line. Redmond, number 11, has had a lot of pep in his step. Put Stoner hard into the boards. Create some separation. Now Walker for the U of A. Content to touch it down the ice, off the boards. And this will be an icing on the Wildcats. So the UCO and U of A trading a bit of sloppy hockey here, going icing for icing. Would like to see a little bit more focused passing in the breakouts for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the Wildcats are doing a great job of going D to D, but just getting it from the point or from the hash marks out to the center for the swing is just not happening.
So now Hughes in to take the face-off against Sykes. As UCO brings out their top offensive line. Hodgson, Curley on the far boards, can't touch it any further than the UCO player. Hodgson in there. UCO trying to get it back to the point, but Curley, he touches it off the glass, but a good soft touch to make sure it doesn't go all the way down for icing, and the Wildcats get a much needed change. So now Flynn will get it just deep enough for Rossi to try to put the pressure on Sykes.
And UCO with those cherry pickers is working out for him right now.
Doucette just posted up and waited for the pass to come to him, but now Ari Rossi, it's 2-on-1 on the defensive side of things, but Hull streaks into the play as the defenseman. Now they go back out in front, and Rossi just touches it wide. So now Flynn gets a good shot, rebound off the pads. Swiger knocks that down before it hits the red line, throws it back in. Cooper Flynn.
And rapid line changes from both teams here, trying to keep fresh legs out for this third period.
So Flynn, a little bit of a dangerous diving play there. Luckily doesn't get called for a trip. And now Eddie Slack with some speed over the blue line with Hannerhan driving middle. That shot patted away once again by Pendleton. Now Baird with a quick shot. Hannerhan screening out in front. That one goes wide. So now Josephson pins it up against the boards, waits for support from Hannerhan. Gets it there. Hannerhan, nice job to pull that puck. But a great block there, as that looked like it stung Hogan as he went down after taking that one in the pads. He's struggling to get to the bench. He's got a dead leg as he asks for some assistance. So what a sacrificial play there by Hogan. You saw the way he reacted. Hit something funky, maybe a shin or a knee, and just that kind of unselfish play keeps you in a game. But now Shetland trying to create some speed off the rush. Can't connect the passing play.
Yeah, taking pucks straight into the skates, as I think I saw it hit there, but it just did not feel very good.
I'm not sure what the whistle was there for. It might have been, so it was a penalty. I didn't see anything. It might have been behind the play, as it'll be number 8, Ananda, heading to the box for UCO. We'll have to see what the penalty call is, because from where the puck was, that penalty must have been well away from the play, Garrett. So too many men on the ice, so.
Might have been a mishap there with the UCO player taking a puck to the skate.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion on the line changes, or just guys are gassed and tired at the end of a 3-game stretch and just not able to get off in time before touching the puck up. So the Wildcats gifted with yet another unforced power play here from UCO. With 8:30 left to go and a 1-goal lead, it will be a huge time for your power play to come through once again. And I just love the comparison between Hayden Gould's kind of, his timeout routine versus every other goalie I've watched over the years. Usually, goalie will skate to the bench, get a sip of water, listen in on the team meeting.
From playing, I realize that goalies are usually in their own world. So maintaining your own world during the game can definitely help you out a little bit.
If there's any player who's living in his own world, it's Hayden Gould, one of the more interesting locker room guys you'll encounter in this Wildcats group. But as Coach Berman has described him, an absolute beauty. So after the too many men on the ice bench minor, Wildcats will look to work it around. Stefan back on this power play. Good to see him back out on the ice. Brings a very dynamic offensive punch to the top six. As they work it around the perimeter, Stefan has to settle that one down. Hughes, he'll skate at the far dot. Look for a lane to open up. UCO not giving anything through the slot.
And the Wildcats are being a lot more selective on what they do for this power play.
Walker, nice little touch pass down to Rue, but into the skates, not able to get the follow-up. And compare that with UCO's power play strategy, two very different approaches to the same topic. Feel like if this was UCO, they would have had 3 shots away. At this point, Stefan, though, just decides to rip one from a sharp angle, and that gets blocked. So now Maloney over to Stefan. They go down low. Hughes tries to touch it into the slot, but no one there but golden uniforms. Wildcats keep possession, though. 55 seconds left to go on the power play. Great job by Maloney to hold that into the blue line. Had to awkwardly get the stick in between the skates. Now Walker with a good chance, but it was Sykes coming across to block it before it got in on Pendleton. UCO player without a stick here. So 5 on 3.5 for the Wildcats. Rue once again trying to touch it back door, but the communication just not there as Hughes had drifted too far from that back post.
And the Wildcats, the way they run their power play, it's very reliant on shots on goal, having 2 guys down low by the crease.
Stefan, he'll drive it in deep. And Mondi, who had been on the ice for a couple seconds after going down, kind of inadvertently has a great block. Stefan not able to release that quick pass. 5 seconds left to go on the bench minor penalty. Maloney back to Stefan. Now a quick shot and a chance at the side of the net. I'm not sure if Pendleton got a pad on that second opportunity from Walker. But what a chance now for Walker. Can he settle it down? A chance out in front and they score. Carter Hanrahan on the 3rd effort. And the Wildcats get that insurance goal that they needed desperately. And it wasn't pretty, but just rebounds off the pad of Pendleton. And the Wildcats get exactly the style of goal they needed after just being a little bit too fancy on the power play. So
it looks like the ref is calling no goal on the play.
So they're actually waving it up. Pretty late wave off here of the goal. Not quite sure what the justification is going to be, as we'll go back and watch the replay. So Walker with I don't see anything that could have.
I thought they might have waved it off for goalie interference, but I just didn't see anything there.
Yeah, that was the only idea I had, that it had to be goalie interference, but we'll go back and look at the replay once again. I just saw Walker kind of wait out Pendleton, and then Hanrahan was on the follow-up. We'll have to see. I don't think we're going to get an explanation from the refs, unfortunately, but going back at the replay after Walker gets a great opportunity denied. Just reviewing here exactly what we saw and try to make sense of whatever the refs did.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything after the play. I saw the refs, or the head refs, discrepancy with it, and I was just trying to watch and see what he was doing.
So unfortunately, we won't get an explanation from the officiating staff on why that goal was disallowed, but Wildcats, just as they did get that very important insurance goal, gets taken off the board, and the Wildcats will go back to their 1-goal lead. So looking back at the replay here, Walker had a couple great opportunities on that power play. Stefan kept the play alive. So, oh, actually, I think it might have been ruled a kicking motion. I saw one of the UCO players complaining that it was a kick. Rossi gets stood up, and now Doucette in with a chance, and Gould was square to that. So maybe a kicking motion, the reason the goal was waved off there. Wasn't able to see it from this angle, but either way, it's a 2-1 game here with 5:44 left to go in the third. Erickson tries to feed it middle, can't connect. Rossi, Flynn stands up his man at the line, but Doucette comes back the other way with Sykes. Doucette stops up, throws it across the ice. Sykes, he gets taken down at the far post, but Wildcats, nothing extra on the play.
And the Wildcats are definitely utilizing the body a little bit more after that wave off.
Probably a little frustration to get out. You think you get one back, and just like that, taken off the board, but Hanrahan will try to go back to work here after his goal was disallowed. Throws it down below the net. Slack tries to find Hanrahan going back out in front, but hit the pads of Pendleton. Now Dubecki with a great effort to skate onto this, gets through 2 Wildcats. He gets taken down hard into the boards. I've been incredibly impressed with the play of Dubecki, and now a lot of extra going on behind the whistle as Thompson in a bit of a wrestling match with Flynn. I'm guessing Thompson took exception to the bit of the late hit by Flynn as they get tied up behind the play. Cooper Flynn, he's been throwing the body around this whole game.
Yeah, he did hit the boards pretty hard on that play, but looked like it was a clean hit, just kind of missed footing there into the corner.
As I was saying, one player that for UCO I've been really impressed with is their captain in number 6, Dubecki. He has been a force out there for them, playing an incredible amount of minutes over these last 2 games against the U of A, and I'm guessing he logged similar amounts against ASU the day before. So 4:43 left to go in the third period. Wildcats still only up by 1 after heavily outshooting UCO throughout the course of this game.
And it looks like they might keep it 5-on-5 for this.
So matching penalties there to Flynn and Thompson. That'll keep it 5-on-5 here as Chad Berman gets things sorted out with his lines, who he wants out there. As they get everything sorted out in terms of penalties, where this puck's going to be dropped. And it looks like it'll come down into the UCO zone after the penalty. The matching penalties occurred in the U of A zone. So now Rue will be in to take the face-off. So 2 minutes for roughing for Flynn. So Wildcats actually get an extra penalty out of this as Thompson goes for a hold and a rough. So maybe it was Flynn who took an exception to the extra hold by Thompson.
So it looks like it's going to be 5-on-4 hockey, so a coincidental and then a minor penalty.
So the Wildcats come away with another power play opportunity here. Weren't able to convert on the last one in the third. Want to see more of a shot-first mentality from this group. Have the Wildcats made any adjustments? Quickly down low and a chance out in front. And Pendleton able to stretch the leg across. And that's where, you know, the Wildcats get exactly the play they're looking for. But it's almost telegraphed to the point where Pendleton knows that Wildcat player is going to try to complete the backdoor tap-in. And he just reacts to it perfectly, stretches across, and makes a huge save.
That was a great play by the Wildcats to move that around the crease, trying to keep Pendleton on his toes.
Pendleton more than up to the task. Now Hughes feeds it across. Rue with a quick shot, and that one gets blocked up into the net. And even though the goal by Hanrahan was taken off the board, you know, I think it's got to be a little bit more of just shots with traffic and rebounds than, you know, the Wildcats. They set up the perfect pyramid, you know, 1, 2, 3 play out front. Pendleton just reads it the whole way. So at this point, when a goalie's got 52 saves on 54 shots, just take away the eyes and pepper him, make him work for it. So now Hull at the point gets it across to Curley. Second unit out here for the Wildcats. Hull pressured at the blue line. And a good job by Guerra in tandem with Hogan to work it all the way down the ice. Guerra gets to it first. He gets dragged down by Hull. And that's going to be a penalty there. So
quite a few penalties here towards the end of the third period. I feel like the legs are getting a little tired for both teams.
So it's Hull who goes to the box. Looks like the ref signaled a high stick. Thought it could have been a hold, a trip, a hook, whatever it might have been. But just like that, the Wildcats negate their power play, and we'll go 4-on-4 here for 47 seconds. Before a minute and 10 of UCO power play, only down by 1 here in the third period. UCO has got to be just absolutely salivating at this power play opportunity where they've really looked their most dangerous. So 2 minutes for high sticking to Hull as we'll get 4-on-4 here. For 37 seconds, Baird goes cross ice to Hughes. He decides to just stop up, not give up possession. Now Hughes over the line, drives wide. He gets double teamed along the boards, puck knocked away from him. But a good read there by Maloney to come over and support, get possession back. Now Maloney in with a shot. That just fluttered over the glove side. Now Baird, quick little no-look pass over to Curley. He stops up. Creates a little bit of time and space. Now a chance here for Curley. Can't complete the drag move, and it'll be numbers coming back the other way, but the Wildcats get the change they need.
Now it's going to be 5-on-4 hockey for 117 or 109.
So with 1:02 left in this power play for UCO, we'll see if the Wildcats can prevent them from setting up. Redman hard on the forecheck. Dubecki. So now UCO with 2:17 left, down by 1. We'll try to set up for 45 seconds on this power play. They work it around the top of the umbrella. Dubecki not able to settle it down cleanly. Sykes back to Dubecki. Now Sykes with a rip. That one hit Baird out in front. He's in a lot of discomfort. UCO gets it back. Sykes over to Dubecki. UCO, they pull the goalie. So it'll be 6-on-4 here for 20 seconds as UCO gets the extra attacker. It'll be Rabrocker skating straight into the slot. Now Doucette over to Dubecki. Back to Sykes. 10 seconds left on the 6-on-4. Can UCO get another shot away? Over to Hogan. Quick chance, and they score! Dubecki comes down from the point. Hogan knows exactly where he's going to be. And UCO with 1:29 left and the extra attacker ties this game at 2.
Yeah, Colin Hogan really ripped that off of the posts.
Well, it was Dubecki who came down in front and got a tip on it. So it looks like a set play to me. You know, they work it from Dubecki around to Sykes, over to Hogan. Dubecki comes down from the point and tips that past Gould, so no chance for Gould out in front. As Dubecki was just all alone and that close in for the redirect.
And 1:29 here for either team to change the tide, or it might be going into overtime.
So 1:28 left to go. And now Guerra, he'll come over the line, get it down low. Stoner gets it across, just kind of touched up the boards, but not out. 1:15 left to go. Guerra blast that on Gould. There was some room on that blocker side. I think Gould got a little bit lucky that it just kind of hit him in the equipment and died. Could have bounced back off of him into the net, but...
Yeah, it looks like he wasn't quite positioned on that post, ready for that play.
Yeah, that post was certainly not sealed. There was some room there. So the Wildcats get a little bit fortunate there. Hayden Gould, who has been good this afternoon, gets a little bit of puck luck from the gods there. Sykes trying to win this faceoff, give UCO another offensive chance, but Wildcats come away with it with 1:04 left to go in the third period. Can either team break this deadlock before heading to overtime? Now it'll be Stefan with speed over the line, taking a quick shot in on Pendleton. Now they find the trailing man in Hodgson. 47 seconds left to go. Stoner with a quick shot, gets blocked down. Dubecki knows that he's got Sykes with a little bit of a gap, so he just throws it in. Sykes gets dragged down there. I feel like Hodgson might have gotten away with one. 30 seconds left to go in the third period. So the Wildcats bring it across. Walker holds, tries to go middle, can't connect. And now it'll be numbers back the other way for UCO. Redmond tries to touch it to the middle. And now the team's trading rush opportunities.
10 seconds remaining in the third period.
Walker with it, tries to go back to the middle, can't connect. 4 seconds left to go. So after trading rush opportunities, this one will head to overtime. In a game UCO has to feel very good about after losing 6-1 to ASU on Thursday, 5-2 to the Wildcats yesterday. On the third game of a 3-game trip, they put together their best 60-minute effort and tie it in the final minute 30 to force this one into overtime. So about a minute 40 here of rest before we head to the overtime. The Wildcats be interested to see who Chad Berman decides to go with for that first shift. Like I said, probably my favorite line throughout this game has been when Rossi, Erickson, and Swiger were together. Saw Erickson bumped up to the first line in the absence of Stefan. But after his return, got to think that line will be reunited. So, a little bit of time left here before we drop the puck on the overtime. Thank you so much for joining in on the broadcast, everyone. If you can make it down to the TCC for the final games of the regular season against ASU, February 20th and 21st, certainly cannot recommend checking out those games enough. U of A men's and women's hockey going back-to-back on those days. U of A women's hockey taking on ASU at 1 p.m. and then U of A men's hockey taking on ASU at 7:30 p.m. February 20th and 21st. So keep an eye out on our social media for all of those promotions. So 7 seconds left to go, and I don't know, Garrett. After yesterday's game, I was talking with Adam, our OBS producer, before the game, and I said I had a feeling it was either going to be 8-1 or 3-2. And unfortunately, the latter prediction has come true. UCO has played a tight game all the way through.
And UCO, I feel like, is going to be pretty deadly on the 3-on-3 plays because they've just been playing man-on-man hockey, trying to maintain their energy. So they're used to Wildcats players trying to maintain the body on them. So we're going to see how this goes.
So Hughes out there to take the face-off, but Sykes wins it. Dubecki, Sykes, and Guerra, the three out there for UCO. Is Sykes, he'll wind it up with speed. Try to cut across, taken away there by Walker. So the Wildcats get the all-important possession in overtime. As Sykes with a rare unforced error there, as he's been one of UCO's best players the last 2 days. So now Walker over the blue line. They've got to respect him.
And the Wildcats doing a great job of recognizing that puck possession is all there is, too.
So Walker, he tries to drive to the middle. Dubecki with a good active stick. Takes that away. And that'll allow Guerra with some time and space to skate into the dot. Goes for the toe drag, can't complete it. The Wildcats would have been great to see hit Maloney on the outlet pass, but they give up possession with 4:06 left to go in the overtime period. Nice move by Mondi through middle ice, skates in unopposed. Goes wide on the blocker side of Gould. And a good effort there by Hodgson to force UCO out of the zone.
Great board pass there by Doucette.
So that gives Hogan a little bit of time and space to skate onto it. He circles the wagons. Mondi in a one-on-one battle with Shetland. Shetland gets the best of it. Can he use his speed to wind things up through the breakout? Rue and Shetland go back and forth. Now Shetland looks to cut to the middle, and he does. But Pendleton stayed with him the whole way. Rue got another chance out in front.
And that was very scary for a skate redeflect into the back of the net for Pendleton.
Yeah, as Gould got a little bit of the puck luck when he didn't have that post sealed. I think Pendleton gets a little bit of the puck luck there, that one somehow doesn't deflect backwards into the net either. So with 3:04 left to go in the overtime, UCO brings it over the line, but the Redmond brothers not able to synergize on that, and it'll be an offsides play, and we'll drop the puck outside of the zone once again.
Yeah, both teams looking very comfortable here in the overtime with 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, 3-on-3 opens up a lot of ice and a lot of creativity, and now with number 26, Wyatt Stefan out there, really want to see what he's capable of on the 3-on-3, but it's UCO able to get possession for a second, but just forced to dump it in on Gould, and that'll give Hughes time to set it up. So Maloney out there with Stefan and Hughes. Maloney with a nice move around his man to create a rush up the ice. So now the lanky defenseman in Maloney goes down low behind the net. Circles all the way around. Some great edge work there by Maloney as he goes for another tour of the attacking zone, but just turns it back over. And now Redmond comes back. Quick shot, Gould in and out of the glove, but able to seal it. Decides to just play it out. Refs allow the quick stop there. Looks like no trip called on the play as Stefan was taken down. But refs let him go here. That'll be an offsides at the line. So 2 minutes left to go in the overtime.
A little bit of confusion there at the stoppage of the play with Gould's cover of the puck.
I think the refs let him get away with one there, not blowing the whistle as he kind of held it, hesitated, dropped it, allowed the Wildcats to break out, but couldn't get entry into the zone with 1:55 left to go. Time winding down here on the Wildcats' chance to finish this in overtime before the ever-looming shootout, which with how both of these goalies have played, UCO probably doesn't mind their chances. Gould's been great, but UCO has some very dangerous shooters on their roster. Wildcats as well, so both teams trying to finish it off in overtime. Curley on the back door, not able to finish off the play. Sykes couldn't receive that pass, and it'll go all the way down for an icing. So based off of the confidence that Pendleton had, personally, if I was on that Wildcats bench, I want to get this done in overtime before allowing it to go to a shootout.
Yeah, and on both teams here, the Wildcats and UCO, they're just really compounding on the missed opportunities on this 3-on-3, and it really shows because there's very few players out on the ice.
So Rue in to take the face-off against Sykes. Sykes able to win it to himself. Shetland and Rue collapse, though, able to strip the puck back. Now Rue with a nice move, a lot of time and space, comes out into the slot. Couple backhand moves, switches sides with Maloney. Now Shetland on his forehand. All three players on their forehand shooting side. Maloney gets it up to the point to Rue. Over to Maloney. Maloney down to Shetland. Rue into the slot, not able to receive that cleanly on the forehand. As Guerra gets it up ice, now a 2-on-1 opportunity for UCO. Dubecki in, a couple moves, back door, and Gould somehow keeps it out as Maloney without a stick just pushes it back into him. So Gould barely able to seal off the 5-hole enough as UCO gets a perfect 2-on-1 coming back the other way.
Just absolutely gassed Wildcats players going to the bench.
Dubecki did everything he could there to wait out Gould to the very last second. Completes the pass, but Hayden Gould just gets enough on it to keep it from not going over the red line with 38 seconds left to go here in the overtime period. UCO not able to win that back. So now Hughes 1-on-1 against Doucette. Hughes with a quick shot, and Pendleton paddles that to the side of the net. A little bit of confusion there out in front, as it was almost Mondi who put it right back into his own net. But UCO able to not give that one up from another good play from Pendleton. As the Wildcats near in on 60 shots on the afternoon. 5 seconds left to go here. Now Mondi with one last opportunity. Gould holds that off, and we will head to the shootout.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities for both teams on that overtime with a 3-on-3.
That 2-on-run rush for UCO, definitely the best opportunity of the overtime. So now it'll be up to Pendleton and Gould to go dueling back and forth, as we will get the ever-exciting shootout here at the Tucson Arena on a Saturday afternoon, as Pendleton and Gould will switch sides. And now it's anyone's game. Skilled shooters on the ice for both teams.
Yeah, and I think it's only fair for Pendleton for it to end up like this, because he held UCO in the game all 3 periods with 60 shots on net. That's just unheard of a shot percentage or save percentage.
Giving up 2 goals on 60 shots is good afternoon's work for any goalie, but now it'll come down to the shootout as number 22, Hogan for UCO, will wait for the ref to drop the puck, and he'll be the first shooter for UCO. So Hogan versus Gould to start this shootout off, as Hogan will slowly skate onto this puck. Serpentine route on the outside, gets into the slot, and a great blocker save by Gould. Hogan tries to slow everything down, force Gould to commit.
And the purpose of doing that is try to knock the goalie off from backing up into the net.
And no surprise here that Wyatt Stefan, the hat-trick goal scorer yesterday, will be the first shooter for the Wildcats, as he also likes to take the slow, calm, steady approach, almost identical to Hogan off the start. Now Stefan in against Pendleton. Stefan in! Throws it high and wide, as he had Pendleton down to commit. But Pendleton, listed on the sheet at 6'3", just takes away any scoring opportunity. And now Dubecki, the captain for UCO, he'll skate over the blue line on Gould. Dubecki in, forehand, and Gould gives him absolutely nothing to shoot at.
Yeah, looks like he was trying to go 5-hole. Should have waited a little bit longer for him to open up.
So Dubecki, who has had a fantastic 2 games here, not able to get the go-ahead goal. And now Riley Rue, he'll skate it over the blue line. Rue comes in on the near boards, tries to wait out Pendleton. He does it, he scores! Riley Rue, backhand, forehand, backhand, buried on Pendleton. So what a terrific bit of poise and patience there by Riley Rue, as he comes down the ice. A couple of beautiful moves, and now UCO with one final opportunity. It'll be Sykes in against Gould, and Gould shuts it down. So 3 straight stops for Gould. Riley Rue finishes it off for the University of Arizona. So the U of A finished the weekend sweep against UCO, winning this one in a shootout. So a thrilling finish here at the Tucson Arena. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on the YouTube broadcast. We will be back February 20th and 21st to broadcast both the men's and the women's games against ASU to finish up the season. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Sebastian Janik with Garrett Kane. This is Wildcat Hockey.